Animal Crossing 3.0 is almost here, and I am not ready, but I am preparing. So today I just thought I would go over the general tips and tricks that I'm implementing on my islands so that I can be prepared for 3.0, and I thought I would share them with you. And I have two different islands and two completely different spaces of completion right now. I have one that I am hard at work on that I started when the Switch 2 came out, and I have one that I've had since the very beginning, since day one of Animal Crossing New Horizons releasing on the Switch. In fairness, there's nothing we have to do to be ready for an Animal Crossing update, but I want to enjoy the 3.0 stuff like as soon as it drops, regardless of which island I'm on, and that is my goal with everything I'm kind of doing, at least predicting what needs to be done to the best of my ability. So here we go. So the first island we're looking at is Trip Falls, and this is my new forever island, okay? This island I started when the Switch 2 came out, and I have been really hard at work, as you can see. If you just look at the map, you might assume that you're looking at a finished island. But if you're watching the live streams as I'm building this island, you know that is far from the case. Basically, what I did with this island is I prioritized all of the different infrastructure on the island. So I got the paths laid out how I wanted to. I'm starting to gather the villagers I want to keep on the island, and everything's just kind of been slowly organically building. I'm playing completely vanilla. I'm not time traveling. I'm not using treasure islands or anything like that. And it's been a lot of fun to revisit the game like this, but it has meant that I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this update by any stretch. So what is my main focus, with Trip Falls as I prepare for 3.0? Well, let's start with money. I need money because I am putting together an island infrastructure, basically, and I'm having to buy a lot of different staircases and bridges and pay off my home loans so that I can be ready for this update, and I don't have to worry about my funds going to these things because, as you saw in the trailer, our storage is about to be able to get increased up to 9,000 items, and if you increase your storage from the previous 2.0 update, you know those storage upgrades are very expensive. They are basically new home loans you have to pay off. So this money-making section is not going to be like a complete comprehensive guide on money-making in Animal Crossing. There's plenty of those out there, but some of the things I'm personally doing is I am harvesting crops regularly. These are all of the crops that I have now. It's not a very big farm, but I can take these and cook them down into all kinds of things and sell them for a decent profit. I also have all the fruit trees now, so, you know, all of that stuff, pretty obvious, kind of low-level money-making stuff. But the absolute biggest thing I've done to make money on this island that's worked beautifully is checking the hot items every day, and I have gotten a couple of really, really lucky breaks here. For example, about a week or two ago, one of my hot items was a silo, and I knew the silo kind of took a good amount of materials to make, so I decided to just make a few before the day was over, and I ended up making a lot because what I learned is that just for 3 of these, when the silo is the hot item, it was worth 100,000 bells. After I saw this monumental amount of money for 3 silos, which wasn't a problem for me because I've been collecting a lot of resources, yeah, I had to go to the extreme and make a whole ton of them. More recently, though, I was able to exploit the donation box as the hot item. Now, I say exploit because this is kind of by now a well-known thing, but in case you don't know, the way the hot item works is that the Nooks pay you double of whatever the item is worth. Now, the item value is determined by how much each material is worth to craft the item. So for this donation box, they would be paying me basically quadruple the cost of this wood and softwood. Basically, this is like me selling them 16 pieces of wood and 16 pieces of softwood. I think. I'm bad at math. Hopefully I'm right on that. The thing is, with the donation box item, though, not only is it worth the cost of the materials, but also when it's the hot item, it becomes worth the cost of all the money inside of it too, which means if they're going to pay double for what the item's worth, and this is now worth 1,000 bells plus the wood, this is now worth 2,000 bells plus the cost of the wood. So you can fill these up to 99K. And I sold, I think, I don't know, over the course of the day, like 10 of them. This is the cost, I think, of like 3 or 4 that I filled up completely. So it was a lot of money. The last batch of them that I sold was worth 1.1 million bells. This is where I stopped, though. It takes forever to fill these things up. Like, you can literally only put 1,000 bells in them at a time. So, and the worst part is, if you reach 99K and you're not paying attention, the next option becomes withdraw bells. And a couple times I accidentally withdrew the bells that I had already put in and had to start over. So this was a frustrating thing that I did while I was like watching TV and stuff like that. And I'm glad I don't have to do it again. What I'm actually hoping for a hot item in the future is the pile of cash, which is just a recipe I don't have yet, but it basically is just cash. and you can just keep doubling that. By the way, I know I said I'm playing vanilla, I'm not using treasure islands. Before you get mad at me, I did take a poll in my Discord before I exploited the donation box, and only like 2 people said I shouldn't. So I'm sorry, I did it. With it, I was able to buy the rest of the residents of Harv's Island and another staircase. This is what I have left over, and as you can see, I haven't even begun paying down my last home loan yet. So I don't really feel like I cheated the system too much here, but I would encourage you to look at the hot item of the day. That's basically the tip, whether or not you feel good about exploiting these bugs, quote unquote, that Nintendo could have patched a long time ago, by the way. This has been in the game since like 2.0. So if they wanted to patch it, they could have patched it. While we're at the Nook stop though, I'll bring you to my next tip, which is to go into your Nook Mile redemptions and buy up all of those temporary things. Get your licenses out of the way for doing paths and bridges, get all your hairstyles, get all of your reactions, leave yourself with like nothing new in here other than these furniture items, get all the recipes, because we really don't know what's going to be added in here, but it's probably going to cost you some Nook Miles, which is kind of tip number 2.5, get a lot of Nook Miles. Like, go do things, play the game every day. I have 64,000 right now, and I'm trying not to spend too many, but I also need items to decorate my island with. Speaking of decorating, I don't know if this is really a tip, because I'm really not doing this, but I'm not really worried about decorating this island. I am a little bit, because I want to play the game and enjoy it and get hyped for 3.0. I'm not stopping myself from doing any projects, but I'm not really decorating the island right now. This beach is clear. I'm ready for them to plop a hotel down in the water, and I don't really care about the decorating because what's the point? We're about to get so many new items, and I'm going to put all this stuff down and get attached to the way these things look, and then I'm going to get all these new items, and then I'm going to have filled up my island with stuff. I would like to get 5 stars before 3.0. That would be nice, but I'm not holding myself to that. Decorating is kind of the least of my concerns, and I would encourage you, if you have a newer island like this, to also make that the least of your concerns as well, because when 2.0 came out, they added so many things that people were redoing their islands anyway. I mean, play how you want. Like I said, I am decorating. I'm not stopping myself. But it's not a goal to get the island fully decorated. That would be counterintuitive. But one of the things I am doing is I'm working on my hybrids. I love to try and collect all the different hybrids, and I'm starting with the hardest ones. These purple mums are capable of producing green mums. These red roses are capable of producing blue roses. This is going to take me a really long time to do, so I'm starting now, and if you're a hybrid collector, I highly suggest, if you have a newer island, start getting this process underway. There's a ton of guides out there, and pro tip, get friends and family to come over and water these flowers. Up to, I think, 8 people can water your flowers, and every person that waters them, they have a higher chance of producing a hybrid. So I got these purple ones and stuff pretty quickly. What was really fast was getting the red roses I needed for the blue ones, because these will produce those red ones, and I had a few friends come over and help me water them, and the next day I had 2 reds. So this is a really good way to get those hybrids done, and it is a collaborative thing. This is not like a cheat code or anything like that. Nintendo wants you to invite people to your island and water the flowers, so I highly suggest if you have Nintendo Online to do that. If you have the Happy Home DLC, this next tip is for you. Please get your at least 30 homes done in Happy Home, and there's a really important reason for this. As you progress through Happy Home and as you come in here and buy these items, eventually you will make good friends with Wardell, and Wardell will help you unlock a catalog that lets you buy basically any item in the game if you've done enough homes. The way you unlock items in this catalog is to literally just do homes for people, and that kind of like unlocks your ability to buy the items later, and you can buy these and customize them any way you want. He'll ship them right to your home. Unfortunately, it's only 5 at a time, but you're going to want access to a lot of things, and if you have a newer island, this is a really good way to kind of speed run collecting a lot of items. On this character, I'm nowhere near done with Happy Home. I probably have less than 10 homes that I've done, so I have a lot to do here. But doing 30 homes also unlocks the ability to customize your villagers' houses as well on your main island, which is something you're probably going to want to do because it's just awesome. If you don't have Happy Home, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And just a quick note on that catalog from Wardell with every item in it. I don't want to misspeak. It's every item you could get like through normal gameplay from Nooks and stuff. If we're talking about special holiday items and things like that, obviously that's just unlocked with events. So every item with a big asterisk on that. But it's all in one nice convenient catalog, so that's cool. So if you have a newer island and you just focus on like money making and collecting Nook Miles, you're going to be in a pretty good place. But what if you have an island that you've been working on for quite some time? Let's take a quick field trip to my very first Animal Crossing New Horizons Island, which I updated the dream address for just today for this video because it's on a Switch Lite and I can't tour it properly with a capture card. Let's jump over there and I'll show you the status of that island. This is Butte, by the way. The dream address should be down below in pretty much all my videos, and you can come check it out if you want. Butte is done. I really don't have any other outstanding projects right now. I'm pretty happy with the state that it's in, and I still have some plans for it. Now, I'm not playing on this island every single day, but I have been thinking about things I would like to change once I kind of have an excuse to jump on it again and start changing stuff. For example, one of the things I've never been super thrilled about were the way these paths kind of came out. I wanted to use regular paths, but I also wanted to put some custom designs on them. And when you get to this part of the town where there's a couple houses next to each other, I mean, this is, I think, the way you're supposed to use these, but it just looks kind of bad. They just don't look that good to me. And I think I would probably redo a good amount of them. And that is where Rossetti comes in, because he's going to be able to help me with that. There's no reason for me to start doing stuff like that right now. Now, will he let me target just the paths and only the paths? Probably not. I don't remember all the options, but at the very least, he'll probably help with some elements of redesigning. So for big redesign kind of projects, I'm just waiting. There's no sense in doing those right now. The other reason I'm not touching a lot of stuff on this island is because there's spots that I genuinely also just love, but I also don't know all the new stuff we're about to get. So this is kind of my rock garden area that I have like set up as ruins, and there's a lot of ruined items here that look really good. But we could get more items in this category, and so I'm just kind of not touching anything. When you have an island that's like this well established, it becomes a little bit I don't know, anxiety inducing to think about kind of messing with stuff when we're so close to getting a big dump of new features and items put upon us. This is a tip I've seen a lot of people kind of like give, is you should clean up the area around your pier. Just in case, who knows where those items are going to go if you've decorated this thing and then they drop this update and all your stuff disappears. Probably a good tip. For me, I'm still thinking about this in terms of just walkability. There's going to be a hotel. There's going to be new villagers like walking around the island because they're visiting the hotel. So this whole area, it's kind of already shaping up. It's kind of like a bit of a resort beach kind of getaway as it is. I think what I would do is take this vibe right here, which I love, and extend it over to the pier. So there would probably be a little walking path with custom designs that I'll put down from here going up to here as like your invitation to come to the island. But I might put a little stall over here that sells ice cream, and I might move the volleyball net. It just depends. I might want like a welcome center or something like that. And that is, again, things I could build now, but I probably will actually do when 3.0 comes out, because it'll be more fun to, like, you know, give myself some projects with potentially some really cool new items. So is my tip for finished islands to do nothing? Because I feel like I've just walked around this island and said do nothing. But some of you might be in different phases of the game. On this island, I have over 100 million bells. I think it was at 113 million when I checked this morning when I updated the dream address. So I'm not really worried about all the new purchases I'm going to have to make. I also have probably 50,000 or so Nook Miles on this character. So he's good. Like, I don't really have to worry about that stuff so much with him. But you might be in a different spot, which my other tips still stand. You should be trying to get money. You should be trying to get Nook Miles, because all the new stuff that's happening is going to cost those things. Of course, there's a whole new currency with the hotel, and you're going to be decorating and getting that currency through selling crafting items and things like that. I'm editing the video right now, and I did forget, I think the biggest tip of this entire video for 3.0, crafting materials. Go to Nook Miles Islands, go to Captain Islands, destroy them. Take all the trees, take all the stones, and hoard all of it. Because not only do we know we're going to be using these to make items for Captain, but we don't even know if we're getting new DIYs yet. So hoard crafting materials. I can't believe I forgot to say that in this section of the video. Anyway, moving on. I'm pretty certain, based on what we've seen, there is still going to be stuff that is bells. It's going to cost you bells and Nook Miles. So get those ready. And then if you are on a more established island and you have Nintendo Online, check in on your friends, see where they're at with their games. If they're playing more vanilla like I do and they're not using treasure islands and things like that, they might need some extra crafting recipes. They might be looking for certain items. My friends and I are playing a lot more right now, and we're trading a lot of stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. So I'd recommend, like, if you have DIYs to spare, like, save them, hold on to them, and see if anyone in your friend group or family kind of needs those things. I mean, even without Nintendo Online, you can visit each other's islands locally, you know, if you're in the same room. So just keep those things in mind. be asking around, like, from your friends who you know are playing, like, if they need something, because that's where this island's at. I might be able to help out a number of people when 3.0 comes out, so they feel like they, you know, feel a little more caught up. A lot of the tips I've seen out there for Animal Crossing 3.0 prep have been really hyper focused on like optimizing gameplay. These tips that I'm giving you are more or less just like if you're a more casual player, like I kind of treat the game. So I hope that's been helpful, but let me know in the comments if you have any tips that could be a little more optimized for folks. Leave them down below. Help me get to 100,000 subscribers. We just hit 84. I know it's hard to see, but we're trying to get 100,000. Hopefully next year that happens. I don't know. And if you want to see my progress on that ridiculous island I showed you earlier with the stick figure tripping and falling, that is Trip Falls, and I'm working on it on live streams all the time. So subscribing will help you know when I go live. And in the meantime, this next video will help you figure out which amiibos you need to buy if you want the new villagers that are being added to Animal Crossing. So I'm going to recommend that one next. And hopefully I'll see you in a live stream. Catch you later.